Hi, this is Mike Elliott, and you're watching a CEO Live Sector Watch report featuring the healthcare and pharmaceutical sector. In 2007, the U.S. spent $2.26 trillion on healthcare, or $7,439 per person. Healthcare spending makes up about 16% of the U.S. GDP. This gives the U.S. the dubious honor of being the number one healthcare spender in the world. And as the average American gets older and heavier, there's no end in sight for the healthcare boom. About one-third of American adults are obese, and studies predict that 41% of American adults could be obese by 2015. Meanwhile, the number of Americans aged 55 and older will almost double between now and 2030, from 21% of the total U.S. population to 31% as the aging baby boomers reach retirement age. Indeed, health analysts predict that by 2017, healthcare spending will be at 19.5% of U.S. GDP. The healthcare industry can be broken down into three main segments: biotechnology and drugs, healthcare facilities, and medical equipment. In this Sector Watch report, we will be focusing on the pharmaceutical industry and drug manufacturers. The pharmaceutical industry consists of companies that research, develop, market, and distribute drugs for nearly every therapeutic need. Drug sales from the 65 largest pharmaceuticals totaled $606 billion in 2007 and continues to grow. Commercial drug companies are driven by research and patent protection. Developing a drug requires an enormous amount of investment in technology, materials, and time, and can be a risky venture for the company. However, after a new drug is successfully developed, thoroughly tested, and patented, it may be potentially very lucrative, especially if it addresses a common health problem such as heart disease or cancer. So what are some of the current industry trends and risks? First are drug pipeline risks. Developing a new drug is a time-consuming and costly endeavor. Hundreds of thousands of candidate compounds must be screened to identify a handful of potential drugs. Even fewer of these candidate drugs are found to be effective at treating a disease. The drug must then pass strict safety standards in several series of clinical trials. According to the Pharmaceutical Research and Manufacturers of America Pharmaceutical Industry Profile, developing a new drug and bringing it to the market takes up to 10 to 15 years and on average costs $800 million. The FDA has also become more strict in the approval process. In 2007, the FDA approved 19 drugs, the lowest number since 1983. Next, there is stiff competition from generic drugs. Due to FDA regulations, pharmaceutical patents last 17 years, during which a pharmaceutical company has an exclusive right to manufacture a particular drug. After the patent expires, generic versions of the product can be produced and sold by competitors. Generic medication is cheaper to produce due to the substantially lower research and development costs than brand medication, and the lower cost is often a strong incentive for consumers to choose generics over branded drugs. In addition, the presence of a generic alternative may force a decrease in the brand name medication's price through increased competition. The generics industry itself is also facing the threat of cheaper competition. With the development of advanced drug manufacturing facilities in countries such as China, generics will likely undergo even further price cuts. China is already the world's largest supplier of raw materials for drug manufacturers, but has not produced significant amounts of finished drugs for export. Recently, the FDA approved the first Chinese generic, a copy of the AIDS drug nevirapine, and another 10 Chinese companies are expected to come out with generics this year. There are also political pressures regarding pricing and licensing. Pharmaceutical companies face constant pressure from governments and activist organizations to increase access by either lowering prices substantially or granting generic licenses. Although these policies would increase the volume of sales, there would be a significant impact on total profits. However, if price controls or granting generic licenses occur, then companies will be less likely to invest money and research into new and unique medications. Pharmaceuticals are also dependent on changes in health insurance coverage, which may impact drug sales. If an insurance program changes its policies and removes coverage for a certain treatment, sales of related drugs are likely to decrease. In general, insurance programs are more likely to cover essential expenses such as heart disease medication and less likely to cover non-essential expenses such as cosmetic surgery. Litigation risk is another factor which must be taken into account. Pharmaceuticals can face significant liabilities if a medication is later found to be defective or produce adverse reactions. Even though such adverse reactions are previously unknown and impossible to predict, damage claims in such lawsuits are usually substantial. Depending on jurisdiction, the legal system may limit allowable damages. So in light of these trends and risks, what future growth strategies can we expect? Drug development costs have increased significantly in the past decade due to increased FDA regulations and the desire for long-term testing. The total cost and time to market for new drugs can be in the hundreds of millions of dollars and up to a decade, respectively. In addition, competition with generic drugs in emerging markets such as China and India have put pressure on drug companies' bottom lines. Despite these factors, drug companies do not prioritize cost-cutting in the near future as much as other strategies for continued growth. In a recent survey of major executives at 15 large and medium drug companies, increased investment into R&D ranked first as a priority for the future, having been cited by 66% of the survey group. cost-cutting tied with expanding into new markets, as well as restructuring marketing and drawing 40% of the group. So what is the future of the pharmaceutical and drug manufacturing industry? Until now, the companies that develop and manufacture new drugs have relied upon monopoly or near-monopoly protection from patents in order to succeed. Companies invest billions in research and development to pursue a limited number of potential blockbusters and or acquire other companies with product pipelines with potential. This model worked for many years. The 1990s is remembered for the introduction of many new blockbuster drugs, which brought investors tremendous rewards. Even today, the pharmaceutical companies are viewed favorably for their high dividend payouts and high profits. However, three forces began converging in the last decade. First, the number of new drugs brought to market, or at least blockbuster drugs, slowed. Secondly, many companies faced patent cliffs on products previously brought to market. Thirdly, as the patents expired, the generic drug manufacturers were standing by with the generic versions ready to take market share. One reason for the decline in new drug introductions may be the increasing complexity of developing an effective drug. The dearth of new products increased the demand for mergers, acquisitions, and partnerships. All this has done is delay the day of reckoning and the emergence of a new paradigm. If the old business model is decaying, what replaces it? Worldwide, the population is both growing and aging. This actually creates an unprecedented opportunity to the drug companies, but also makes for huge obstacles. The technology is now emerging to tailor fit a drug to an individual patient. The drug would be customized to address the specific genetic makeup of the individual and also of the specific disease. The R&D paradigm is changing. The focus is moving to characterizing disease at the molecular level. As bioinformatics becomes more prevalent, patient molecular information will become more accessible. Personalized drug therapies are likely to increase the effectiveness of treatment. It should also reduce the time to market cycle and the cost of drug development. Despite the disruptive nature of personalized medicine, the pharmaceutical industry is emerging as a driving force in this field. The list of early personalized medicine adopters includes some industry giants: Roche, Pfizer, Novartis, and Lilly. The field is also populated with upstart companies such as Genomic Health, XDX, and Prometheus Labs that offer specialized approaches to segmenting disease, as well as the recognized pioneers in personal genomics, 23andMe, Decode Genetics, and DNA Direct. Another notable startup that is taking a unique approach to marketing and packaging of consumer healthcare products is Innovis Pharmaceuticals, ticker symbol INNV. Innovis is a pharmaceutical company that provides packaged healthcare solutions through both prescription medicines and consumer and health products. It develops, in-licenses, acquires, and markets proprietary respiratory, dermatology, and autoimmune pharmaceutical products for patient compliance and results. The company is also building a pipeline with a range of approved products, including arthritis pain relief product APs, as well as product candidates across each phase of development, such as its VAP1 program for psoriasis and dermatitis. APs is an arthritis pain relief cream formulated to target the joints where arthritis resides. To find out more about Innovis, please visit their website at www.innovispharma.com. In adopting personalized medicine, they are all embracing a new healthcare model that emphasizes segmentation of patients and decisions and practices tailored to individuals or small groups. Although this approach might lead to smaller revenue pools for pharmaceutical producers, personalized medicine can actually improve their profits. A business model based on differentiated products can reduce the system-wide costs and complications of one-size-fits-all medications, provide new opportunities for marketing, and establish new efficiencies in production and distribution. Thank you for watching. This has been a CEO Live Sector Watch report featuring the healthcare and pharmaceutical industry. To see more of our Sector Watch reports and executive interviews, please visit our website at www.ceolive.tv. Thank you.